Alright, let's change my desktop. Hey everyone, what's happening? And today I am going to be changing my desktop from the evil Gnome desktop, or Gnome, whatever you want to call it. I'm not using it anymore, so we're going to change it. If you would like to know why I'm changing it, go ahead and click the link up in the corner. And if you haven't seen that video yet, it's really interesting, at least I thought so. And we're going to go ahead and dive into this, and we're going to change out my desktop. So here we are, my Gnome desktop. Now, before making any major changes to your system, what I would suggest you do is go ahead and install Timeshift. And I'll enter my password here and create a snapshot. Now, to save time, I've already created a snapshot. And what you want to do is set it up so it doesn't sync any of your home folders because you don't need it. And create a snapshot. And this way, if in case something happens, like power interruption, or you mess something up, you can always restore your system back to a working point. So all you need to do is back up the system files. Even if it's on your boot drive, it still will work. So now that we have our system snapshots in place, now we have to install a desktop environment. So we're going to go ahead and open up a terminal, which is my Alacrity for right now. And we're going to go ahead and zoom this in. I'm going to be using APT because that's my package manager, because this is Pop! OS, but you'll be using Pacman for Arch, DNF for Fedora, etc. Whatever your package manager is, look up whatever desktop environment you want to install. And if you have to add repositories, etc., I do not have to add a repository because this happens to be in the Ubuntu repositories. So the desktop environment I have chosen is XFCE. So what we're going to do is a sudo apt install XFCE 4, and then we're going to also add all the extras for XFCE, so that would be an XFCE 4-goodies. And of course, now it's going to ask for my password. And now, of course, it's going to say what it's going to install, and that it's going to take up about 144 megabytes of additional disk space. So I'm going to go ahead and press yes. I'm going to speed this up and allow it to go, and then I'll be back. So when you're switching desktop environments, it will often install a new display manager, or sometimes called a login manager, and it will ask which one you want to use. Of course, it's got GDM3, which is the known display manager, or LightDM. I'm going to go ahead and choose LightDM, and what this is going to do is run all the services so that LightDM will be my login manager. Hello, future me here. I literally forgot to put this part in the video when I was recording. And the way you would select a different desktop environment from the LightDM manager is you would click this icon next to your name, and then you would select a different one. Now this one happens to be LXDE, but same with XFCE, you would just choose XFCE, etc. And then you would just enter in your password. So here we are on my XFCE desktop. As you can see, we have an application menu up here. We've got all our programs right here. Everything that I had installed is in place. It doesn't tamper with any of my programs. It just switched out the desktop environment. So, I mean, this is just good old ugly ass XFCE. I'm going to have to go ahead and fix that later, but I'll theme it and configure it in a different video. Hello, this is future me, and I was kind of a dumbass, and while I was recording uninstalling the Gnome desktop environment, guess what? I forgot to turn on my microphone. So I'm just going to show you this screenshot right here that I have on the screen and basically tell you what I did to remove the Gnome desktop environment. So to remove the Gnome desktop environment from Pop! OS, specifically, it'd be a sudo apt purge gnome-shell, and then also gnome-session. And then in Pop! OS, of course, it's got a safety that requires me to type in a specific yes, do what I say, and it'll remove it. It takes about 3 minutes. Now I've removed the Gnome desktop environment from my computer, so I can't sign back into it, and it's removed all the base packages. However, there are some programs and stragglers that still remain, such as like gedit, Nautilus, etc. And basically, you just have to go through and remove them yourself. You see, Nautilus still exists. Now, I'm not going to show you how to remove those because basically, it's just going through your desktop environment and picking out the ones you want to remove and removing them. So that is how to change your desktop environment in Linux. Now, I use Pop! OS as the example because I use Pop! OS on my mainline PC, but no matter what your distribution is, the procedure is basically the same. All that's different is the package manager. So the procedure can be broken down into this: install a new desktop environment, switch it out in your login manager, and then remove the third, and then number 3, you remove the old desktop environment if you want to. You don't have to do step number 3. You can leave this other desktop in place because this is Linux. You can have multiple desktops on your system and you can switch them out at will, but I'm not going to use Gnome, so I just removed it. If you like this video, go ahead and give it that thumbs up. If you didn't, that's what the thumbs down button is for, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. If you like my content and wish to support my work, you can do so on Patreon. The link is in the description. Also, if you wish to see more, check out the videos on your screen.